My first question comes from Maria in Cape Coral, and Maria says, I filed for bankruptcy several months ago, and I listed all my credit cards in my bankruptcy paperwork. However, one of those credit card companies keeps calling me about the payments that are past due. What should I do? I thought creditors were not allowed to call me after I filed for bankruptcy. Well, Maria, you're 100% correct. When you file for bankruptcy, all of your creditors receive notice that you filed. The clerk of the bankruptcy court sends out a notice to all the creditors that you listed in your bankruptcy paperwork. And the notice that they all receive states that you, as the debtor in a bankruptcy case, are protected by what's commonly referred to in the bankruptcy code as the automatic stay. Now, the automatic stay says that from the moment you file for bankruptcy, your creditors are not allowed to contact you in any way, shape, or form to try and collect debt from you because that debt is on its way to being legally discharged. That means when you receive your discharge from the bankruptcy court, you don't owe that debt anymore. Now, you may be wondering, if debt collectors know that it's illegal to call me after I file for bankruptcy, why would they do it? Are they stupid? The answer is yes, sometimes. Sometimes they are stupid. The bankruptcy code has been around for a while now. The automatic stay isn't new. It's not a surprise. Creditors in general are fully aware of the automatic stay. Most of the time, when a creditor receives notice that a debtor has filed for bankruptcy, they note it in their file, they pass it off to their bankruptcy department, and they know that they're not allowed to contact you anymore, and most of the time, they don't. Sometimes, though, a creditor receives notice of the bankruptcy and says, uh-oh, this person filed for bankruptcy, we better try and collect that debt before it becomes discharged. Now, that's backwards. And if they contact you, it is illegal, and I can sue them. Some creditors and debt collectors, being fully aware that it's illegal for them to attempt to collect from you while you're in bankruptcy, will continue to try and get money from you while you're in bankruptcy because they're rolling the dice that you don't know your rights and you won't sue them for it. Don't let them get away with that. If they're violating the automatic stay, they should be made to pay. So Maria, to answer your question, what should I do? The first thing that you should do when a creditor calls you during your bankruptcy is let them know that you filed for bankruptcy. You give them your bankruptcy lawyer's name and telephone number, and you tell them to contact your bankruptcy attorney from now on instead of you. If a creditor continues to call you after that, well, then they're in trouble. So when they do that, you record the time and date of each phone call, the phone number that they use to call you, if you speak with somebody, what their name is, what they say to you, if they leave you a message, same thing. The more information you can get about those phone calls, the better. Make sure to write this information down on paper, and I can't stress this enough. A lot of people rely on their phones to keep track of all the records of the phone calls they receive from these debt collectors and other creditors. Depending on the phone is a bad idea because it won't keep track of all the required information. You know, depending on your phone, it might keep track of only some of it. Also, your phone might not have enough memory to keep logs of all the phone calls you receive if there are a lot of them. So take the time to physically write down all of the information with a pad and paper so that you have records of that. The next thing that you do is you make sure that your bankruptcy attorney knows that you are being called by creditors while you are in bankruptcy after you've fully informed them that you had filed for bankruptcy. Depending on the level of their conduct, your attorney might send them a cease and desist letter, or he might decide to just go right to a lawsuit. But you definitely need to tell your bankruptcy lawyer that you are being harassed by a creditor and let him advise you as to what the best course of action he thinks would be. And if he doesn't do anything for you, come see Joe. All right?